hit. And
I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. Happy Friday. We made it to Friday. Woo! Coming up on the show today, Kash Patel. It's official. It's happening.
He's in.
The FBI director. So excited. We're going to be talking about that. Vance, JD Vance, slays at CPAC. And Javier and Elon bro it out. Chainsaw style. They're broing it out, you guys. All that and so much more coming up on the show today. Make sure that you are following all the things, all the chick things, chicksontheright.com/links. Please do that. And then also please subscribe to this podcast. Please, please, pretty please. Just click the subscribe button. I'm so glad it's Friday.
Same. Double same.
Excited about that.
I'm very excited. And also, was it yesterday or the day before that we were talking about how not this Monday, but the following Monday, the 28th, I guess it will be. Is that right?
Is that the
so much trouble with this date?
No, the 28th is a Friday. The 28th is a Friday.
So
yeah.
Is it the 24th? I may just still have this totally wrong.
The 24th is Monday. Yeah. That's this Monday.
Okay. Then Carrie's going to kill me because like, so Monday is supposed to be like the economic blackout day, right? Is that right? I think that's the economic blackout day.
I think so.
Anyway, so Carrie from our Etsy store is having like a special sale. This is so great. So she sent me this graphic and she said it's February 28th, but I do think maybe she's right. Maybe it is the Friday. I'm going to have to double check.
That's Friday. It probably is that Friday. I just, nobody cares because they're, because like it's going to do anything to the economy,
Yeah. So people are saying it's the 28th. So it is Friday the 28th. It's not Monday. It's Friday, next Friday.
Okay.
And so that's the day that all of these crazy liberals are like, don't spend any money. It's going to be an economic blackout. We're going to show this Trump and Elon administration just how powerful we are. We're going to shut everything down. So Carrie was like, ding, ding, ding. I have an idea. And she is now having a 20% off sale on all of the Chicks merchandise on that day. And the code to use at inreallifecreations.etsy.com is left can suck it. One word.
I love that people are going to be typing that in. Left can suck it. Yeah. Go Chicks.
So again, it's inreallifecreations.etsy.com. She's got all kinds of awesome Chicks gear. I love the graphic that you can see on your screen right now with like the ball.
I've got the Golden Age of America mug. Can you
see? It's awesome.
That's really awesome. Cute. Yeah. What does the top say? The top says, "I don't really care, Margaret." That's what the top says. Left can suck it. Right.
Left can suck it is the code. Also, you'll see from my name today that it's inspired by Mitch McConnell, of course. And that is because he gave the world's most boring speech on the floor of the Senate yesterday to announce that he's not going to seek re-election a year from now.
What a shame that is. I mean, he's so full of life and vitality. It's a real shame we're losing him, isn't it?
It's a crying shame.
It's just for this guy. He's going to enjoy like a couple years of retirement with the gobs of money he's made off the backs of American taxpayers. So bye. Have a nice retirement. Yeah.
I mean, he's been in the Senate since
years.
Before I graduated from high school. Okay.
Oh my God.
I was in junior high when he was elected.
Yeah.
I'm old. And so that's really saying something. All right.
Well,
so
he is the poster boy. I say boy in a joking way, but he's the poster boy for term limits. That's who this guy is. I cannot believe he's been doing this. He's just been leeching off the American taxpayer and not representing us well at all. The guy's a loser. Bye.
Yeah. He's gone, and now people are already talking about, well, who's gonna take his seat? Who's gonna take his seat? And now it's looking like there is a fellow that's a Trump surrogate named Daniel Cameron, who you see pictured here with Trump, and he is planning to make a run for that seat. He was the former Attorney General of Kentucky, and he made it official himself. There was speculation across social media, and then he also posted a photo of him and his adorable family saying, Kentucky, it's time for a new generation of leadership in the U.S. Senate. Let's do this.
You know what? I have a question now. A question. He appears to be a black man. I thought that Trump was racist, so I'm a little confused as to what's happening here. Somebody's going to have to a liberal's going to have to explain that to me.
Oh my God, if you're confused by this, just wait till we get to Trump celebrating Black History Month yesterday. That'll really blow your mind.
So crazy. All of it's crazy. I've been told other things.
So crazy. And also he's going to be sworn in today, but the news was made official yesterday that Kash Patel is confirmed. He is our new FBI director. And that is despite the incredibly vigorous protest that took place yesterday with 5 different members of the Senate who came out expecting to draw a large crowd and failing miserably to do so. In fact, here is what the protest looked like. And of course, it was Adam Schiff and Sheldon Whitehouse and like Senator Coons. I mean, they just looked ridiculous.
They're there. They're there. I'm surprised they didn't do like an interpretive dance or some songs. Because usually that's what we're used to now. Yeah. They're not singing. It's weird.
And if this weren't a bad enough look, they each spoke and droned on about like how horrible Kash Patel is, how he's going to destroy the country, blah, blah, blah.
With their cute little sign. Little sign. Yeah.
One of the worst of them, amazingly, was not Adam Schiff, although he was terrible. It was Sheldon Whitehouse, who my new favorite thing that people say is that Republicans are going to rue the day. That's just such a ridiculous thing to say.
We're going to rue it.
Day.
I'm not going to rue anything. Don't put your ruining on me. I'm not doing that. I'm not ruining.
There's not going to be any day ruining. So just calm down, Sheldon. But here he is talking about the threat that Kash Patel poses and how all Republicans are going to rue the day.
Kash Patel, mark my words, will cause evil in this building behind us, and Republicans who vote for him will rue that day.
Take me outside. How about that?
Oh my God, the greatest. That was the greatest. He actually looked good with long hair, didn't he? He looked good.
Cash him inside. How about that?
Cash him inside. Evil. It's going to be evil. What time do we get the Epstein files? What time? What time do we get those? Because then we'll really talk about some evil. These people are out of there. They're all so scared because they're like, wait, am I on that list?
They're ruining some days right now. Is what they're doing.
They're ruining so hard is what they're doing.
What a ridiculous phrase. I'm sorry.
So stupid.
Normal people do not say that.
No.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a ridiculous phrase. Anyway, before we move on to other things, because now we're already starting to hear rumblings about who might be on the Democratic presidential ticket in 2028. And you're going to be terrified to see who somebody is throwing around as a potential. But before we get to that, I want to remind everybody about our fantastic friends at ReadyWise.com. These are the people that take care of you in your emergency preparedness endeavors by providing you with delicious, yummy food that stores for 25 years. And specifically, they have all kinds of meals and even meal kits that heat without, like, they just require like water and that's it. They're self-heating. And these are full meals, but they also have, I don't know why their soup is so good. I can't explain it. It just is. And so the hardest part is like trying to save it for emergencies. It's really hard to do that, you guys, because you know it's there and you know how good it is. And so you just want to eat it. Like, you don't want to save it, which is why you should get a lot. Make sure you have a lot on hand.
Yeah, and if you don't get a lot, you're going to rue the day is what's going to happen. You need to make sure you get a lot.
You will rue the day that you
You
didn't
will.
order enough
That's
from
right.
ReadyWise. And don't forget, because last time we talked about this, I think it was last week, that I had discovered that in addition to the soups and all of the amazing self-heating meal kits, they also have the snacks, which include these little cookie dough bites. Are you kidding me?
I'm not saving those. I will not save those for a disaster. Thank you very much.
But listen, I know everybody's lots more comfortable with the way that the world is right now that Trump is back in office, but that you never know. You just need to be prepared for any
Yeah.
potential emergency.
Plus, it
And
might be good for people camping. Like if you camp and stuff like that, which I mean, camping to me is the Holiday Inn. But if you like camping, this is perfect. Okay.
It's a thoughtful choice, ReadyWise is. So visit readywise.com. Use promo code CHICKS20 at checkout. You'll get 20% off your entire purchase. CHICKS20 at readywise.com. So remember how one of the main reasons that we were that we had Joe Biden like inflicted upon us was because of a representative right here in now my home state of South Carolina, Jim Clyburn, who promoted him during that primary season, and it worked. And now he is promoting Jasmine Crockett.
This woman, I swear, she's.
Oh no!
I listen, it worked so well the last time. Everybody was so delighted to have Biden as president. That endorsement, it held a lot of water. People listened to him, I think, and they actually.
Well, yeah, that's why he was president.
But then they rued the day when he got in there. I'm not going to stop with that. I'm just not.
No, I don't want you to.
It's the theme. It's the theme of today's show, ruining the day. And so nobody's going to listen to this guy at this point. Really?
I hope not, because
there's
this
probably
is
5 people that listen to him. Nobody gives a crap what you think, Jim.
She's awful. I mean, she's just awful. So
she's the worst.
I hope people don't listen to this because this is absolutely crazy.
Right.
The chick on speaking of Rue, isn't her last name Rule? What's her, the chick on the chick on MSNBC? Isn't that her name? The one chick,
Stephanie Rule.
Yes, Stephanie Rule.
But it's spelled with like an H in the middle. It's very disconcerting to me. I don't like it. I know it's her last name, but I don't like it.
She was all excited with her panel yesterday because apparently this podcast called The Midas Touch, which features 3 progressive brothers. They have a podcast, and apparently they had an episode that did well enough that they took over the Rogan spot in #1, and she wanted to make this a gigantic deal. So here she is trying to do
new
that.
topic, Joel, before we go. The left-leaning podcast, Midas Touch, has just done the unthinkable, dethroned Joe Rogan to become the country's most popular podcast. Do you see this as a sign of a bigger political shift? Because even these 3 guys specifically, they are not your touchy-feely progressives. They're like 3 bros from Long Island.
Yeah.
And this is Joe Rogan's response. He said,
"Who?" That's exactly what I said yesterday. I'm like, who are these guys? I don't. And it's kind of like what's his name? The dude that's in the Kansas City Chiefs. What's Taylor Swift's boyfriend's name? Kelsey.
Yeah,
Kelsey.
Travis.
Yeah, Travis. There's Travis Kelsey, and then there's the other one,
Jason.
The other
good one.
Jason has a wife who has a podcast, and remember, she dethroned Joe Rogan, like with her, I think is her inaugural podcast,
right?
And then we haven't heard anything about her since.
It's doing actually really well still.
I'm sure
but
it
it's not #1, obviously,
right?
But it's doing pretty well.
But they tried to say, oh, she's going to beat Joe Rogan, and I'm like, I mean, they're there. It's nice that she's got the nepotism of her husband, right? But
yeah, I don't think he's worried at all. No, and I don't think he should be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember yesterday when we talked about Liny Li, who was this Democrat, like activist, donor, fundraiser extraordinaire, who was like super, super in Kamala's camp up until through the election, really. And then all of a sudden she was like, oh my God, the Democrats suck so hard. And now like that's her message. And so Piers Morgan called her out yesterday. We talked about this where he was like, you said that you didn't vote for her and yet you tweeted that you just did. So who's the real Liny Li? And now she's really trying to grovel with people, begging them to believe her. So get your reading pants on.
Oh gosh, here we go.
You're going to read diatribe.
Here we go.
And it's a two-parter. Here is the first page.
Two-parter, of course it is. As a public-facing supporter and unpaid fundraiser of the Harris campaign, I had a duty to see the campaign through Election Day out of respect for the people I came to know so well. Once the election was over, I felt compelled to speak out because it was the right thing to do. If Harris had won, I still would have left the party. Okay. The Democratic Party mismanaged $2.5 billion in campaign funds. They've abandoned the working class. They've recklessly thrown open our border, and they've abandoned God to worship at the altar of woke. The cult brutally excommunicated me for raising questions and telling the truth. I'm one of the few Democrats brave enough to tell the truth. It's excruciating, and I've lost almost everything, but it was the right thing to do.
This is such a poor me extravaganza.
So she's the victim. Yeah. People have falsely defamed me as a traitor spy because of out of context photos from 10 years ago and manipulated clips of me speaking broken Chinese, despite my repeated condemnations of the CCP. I pray you don't fall for their poisonous hatred of me. I'm an American down to the marrow of my bones. I'm excited to be a volunteer fundraiser for the GOP, so we will win midterms and in 2028. Perhaps this isn't enough for my haters, but this is the truth. God bless our beloved country. She is a grifter.
I mean, I guess if she wants to raise money for the GOP, she can have at it.
That's
but
fine.
like,
Right.
I don't believe a word that comes out of her face.
Nope.
Not a word. So, but if she's a good fundraiser, you know, we'll take it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Great.
But like your
That's awesome.
actions speak so loudly, I cannot hear what you say.
Right. I mean, she's so freaking shady. And then the other thing is to just like leave the party when you were literally just a couple of weeks out of the election talking about the issues that you cared so much about that were completely antithetical to what she just said in that tweet. Right. She was woke. You know what I mean? And now she's like, oh God, it was so woke. I had to turn me off.
Is bad. And they took God out. And what I believe it.
I mean,
okay. All right.
You don't just shift everything that you think and instantaneously like that.
And if you do, something's wrong. I'm going to suspect that something is wrong if you do it so quickly like that. That's weird.
Yep. So you guys, we talked yesterday, it was horrible about the bodies being returned from the terrorists in Hamas to Israel, the 4 bodies of the mom, her 2 babies, and the grandfather. Well, now reports are that was not the mom's body. After all, it was just some like random anonymous woman, which is, it just makes everything even that much worse, right? Like it's just so unthinkably awful in every way. And apparently Trump's response to the site of watching Palestinians cheering and being all excited about the ceremony yesterday was to say, in quote, I want to see Gaza wiped out. And I don't disagree.
Yeah, he said, I don't want to see even one building standing. I'm all for it.
I am done. Like this, it is not Hamas. It is the Palestinians. They are all awful.
Yeah, why does nobody want them? They don't want any of those people, any of the Middle Eastern, they don't want them. So it's like, I'm right there with you. Right there.
I cannot, to see them all cheering like that and to know that some of them actually held the hostages in their own homes. I'm sorry, Hamas and Palestinians are one in the same. There is no difference. And it is a sick, poisonous, disgusting, demonic culture. Right. And I just want it to go away.
It is. No, I totally agree with you. And they're in it for the long game. I've always said that. They're in it. They'll do whatever it takes, you know, and they're in it. They'll just wait and they've been at this for years, you know, for decades. It's just like, I'm done too. I'm done.
I know. I'm just, God. And you know what? And I'm just, I don't care. Like if somebody wants to call me xenophobic or a bigot or I don't care.
So what? We've been called I don't care. They're freaking terrorists is what they are. Yeah. They burn babies. They put babies in ovens.
And they do, and then they parade coffins with babies in them in front of other children, to whom they are handing guns as toys.
Right.
So thank you, but no, spare me any kind of justification.
I totally agree. They're training up a whole new generation of terrorists is what they're doing.
Exciting news in the sponsor front. And that is that we have a new one, guys, and it is wine. Okay.
It's wine.
It's wine. This is so exciting. So here's just one bottle of wine that comes from Whoops, there we go.
You got it.
Republican Red. This is 4547 special edition Republican Red. This company, it's owned by a guy by the name of Paul Johnson. He's a second generation wine grape grower, and they make their wine right here in America, obviously in California. They say that it's bottled in California by conservatives for conservatives.
I love it.
It's so great.
Yep.
And so it's so, my favorite thing is when we have sponsors who we know are completely ideologically on the same page as we are,
Yep.
and they have great products, and they offer our audiences discounts.
It's wine, you guys. It's wine.
It's wine. And I tried the Cabernet yesterday, and I liked it a lot. They do recommend that once you open the bottle, you let it breathe. You pour a glass, you let it breathe for like a half an hour.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really good advice, but it's great. I haven't tried the Chardonnay yet. I haven't tried the champagne
That's
or
what
the
I want to
sparkling
try.
wine yet.
It's like Prosecco-y, which that's my jam.
And then
yeah.
this, I believe, is a Pinot Noir. And so I'm super excited to try that too. I love their whole concept of wanting people to put this wine out at parties to start conversations. And so you should be loud and proud about the so-called elephant in the room, right? Which is, I love how they talk about that. They want people to make connections through wine and not have conflict through whining. See what they did there? I see what they did there. I do. I freaking love that, you guys.
Awesome. Mhm.
So they've got lots of choices, and it's a great gift idea as well. They've got like this starter kit, if you will, of their 4 different kinds of wine. You can use code CHICKS at checkout. You will get $5 off and free shipping on 4+ bottles at republicanred.com. Again, it's republicanred.com. So excited to have them on board.
We are. We are so
Oh my gosh.
wine, you guys.
So great.
Ugh.
So use chicks at republicanred.com. All right. We also need to talk about what happened in Ukraine yesterday. And that is that the person that lots of people insist is not dictator-y at all did a very dictator-y move by blocking access completely in Ukraine to President Trump's social media platform.
Wow.
Truth Social.
Isn't that interesting? It's very
It
dictator-y.
Seems dictator-y to me.
It's like it's there's a lot of dick in that dictator. You know what I mean? He is showing his true colors, isn't he? It's like
feels dictator-y.
That's not acting, because he's usually acting. This is how he
Or
really
dancing.
feels. Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to be mean to me after you guys have given me like gajillions of dollars. We're going to go ahead and block President Trump's social media platform.
I mean, this is just a dick move.
You're a child. You're a child and a dictator.
Yep. Elon posted a meme, or he shared a meme rather, on Twitter that was just so perfect. So on one hand, you've got Trump saying, "I'm slashing government," and the crazy liberal on the right going, "Dictator." And then Zelensky saying, "Ukraine won't get an election. I'll stay in charge." And that same liberal going, "Leader."
Yeah. I'd like to know, like, if
So
Angelina
perfect.
Jolie just appreciated her 20 million for going to hang out with the dictator. And Ben Stiller and like all the other people, all the other stupid celebrities that we paid to like be nice to this guy to try to prop him up. We should get all that money back.
It would be nice. It would be nice to just even know where it is. You know,
Mhm.
I would
Well,
just like to know where
in
some
her
of it is.
pocket. Like Angelina Jolie's enjoying life. I mean, that 20 million. Oh my God.
I guess last night, the Senate Republicans, the Senate actually moved forward on their budget proposal. The only Republican that voted against it was Rand Paul. And, you know, Rand Paul is one of those guys that he is going to stick to his budget slashing guns regardless.
Right.
And he explained about the funding for Ukraine, because of course there is some within the Senate bill, the Senate budget proposal. And so he was talking about dealing with people who want to help both America and Ukraine and how that's a false choice. Here he is explaining, and I think he's exactly right.
Why are the decisions of this body so awful? Because there's a printing press. I had a conversation with one of my Democrat colleagues, and he said, I said, we have to make a choice. You've got to decide whether you want to help the poor in our country or want to help the poor in Ukraine or help whoever you're paying in Ukraine. And he says, we shouldn't have to make a choice. Well, it's like, You do have to make a choice. The fact that you think you don't have to make a choice is why we're $36 trillion in the hole. You have to make choices. Which comes first, Ukraine or America? You can't do both because we don't have enough money. We only have enough taxes coming in to pay for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and food stamps. Everything else is borrowed.
Yes.
So maybe able-bodied people need to go back to work. Maybe there needs to be a work requirement. Maybe, for goodness sakes, food stamps shouldn't buy sugar drinks, chips, ding-dongs, and Twinkies.
Go figure. I love all of this. I agree with them 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
We are broke. Why are we paying for other countries? And the fact that Republicans still do that, unacceptable. All of those people need to go until we get people in there who understand that America is first. Ukraine does not come first, and they're not.
And how do they put forth all of these amendments and stuff? You know, some senators were trying to put forward amendments wanting to cut a whole big bunch of spending. Rand Paul, of course, being one of them, and then other Republicans are like, no, we're not going to do that. And at the same time, they'll go out and cheer for Elon.
Right.
And I'm just like, how are you?
Yep.
Where's the disconnect here?
Well, the disconnect is they want to get reelected and they just want to stay in their cush positions and stay in the hot tub and just continue to get rich off of our money. So those people, we got to weed them out and we got to get rid of them. We got to get, it's like, that's part of draining the swamp. I think that DOGE is like the first part of it is the budgeting and the money and draining the swamp that way. But we have to go to the ballots, right? And we have to get these people out of there. Pay attention to who's doing this. It's just insane.
For sure. Also, if you, just in case you're one of the people who keep seeing lefties all over your social media saying there somehow because Trump is in office, that is the reason that there's all of these stories about plane crashes. I know you've seen it. I know you've heard lots and lots of Democrats say this is essentially Trump's fault, that there's all this chaos in the skies. Frank Luntz actually posted some reality because someone was asking, have there been more plane crashes this year? And actually, the NTSB has reported 87 aviation accidents involving all kinds of aircraft since the start of this year. That includes 62 in January, 28 so far in February. That is a decrease when compared to this time last year. In 2024, there were 80 accidents in January and 93 in February. But you're going to notice the legacy media really wanting to promote this story. So anytime there's even like any kind of mishap in aviation, they're going to talk about it, where they didn't last year.
Didn't. You're right. They didn't at all last year. So again,
so just know it.
You're right. It is the legacy media. Totally. They're going to pick and choose what they want you to see and hear.
Mm-hmm. And always remember that. Always remember that there's a lens to look through.
Oh my God. And it's a Democrat lens. It is a total commie lens is what it is.
All right, moving on. We need to talk about JD Vance. CPAC is happening now. I will be honest and tell you that I had no idea.
I didn't either.
Completely forgotten that CPAC is a thing.
2 years ago? We went 2 years ago. That was the last time we went. And
something like that.
Before that was like 2010 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's fine. And obviously lots of people go. JD Vance was there. He was amazing. He did a sit-down interview with Mercedes Schlapp and was fantastic. And we'll have some clips from him to share. But yeah, I completely forgot. I just totally forgot that it was a thing.
Me too.
Oh. Anyway, he was asked about what his message to young boys and young men would be. And it was so refreshing to hear somebody actually give the right message to young men and boys, telling them, don't believe that you are the problem, because that's all you ever hear from the left. Here's JD Vance on that.
And I think, you asked me, my message to young men is I think that our culture sends a message to young men that you should suppress every masculine urge. You should try to cast aside your family. You should try to suppress what makes you a young man in the first place. And I think that my message to young men is don't allow this broken culture to send you a message that you're a bad person because you're a man, because you like to tell a joke, because you like to have a beer with your friends, or because you're competitive. It's our message, the cultural message, and I think the president's and mine is the exact opposite, but our cultural message is, I think that it wants to turn everybody, into, whether male or female, into androgynous idiots who think the same, talk the same, and act the same. We actually think God made male and female for a purpose, and we want you guys to thrive as young men and as young women, and we're going to help with our public policy to make it possible to do that.
I love that so much. Be unapologetic in your masculinity and your femininity. Just be unapologetic. Screw them. Because there are roles, there are differences. We see that and we value it. And I love that. And they're going to do that with their policies. I think that's just, God, I never thought I'd see the day, honestly.
I know. It's just so refreshing to hear just a man address young men in the way that they deserve to be addressed.
Yeah.
Which is not to say it is you're the reason for all the bad in the world. That's what men have been hearing forever.
Right. And they're not. Men are awesome.
Exactly. JD Vance also talked about the extent to which Biden is responsible for destroying free speech. Here he is on that.
The Biden administration did more to destroy free speech, not just in the United States, but also in Europe, than any administration in American history. I'm not even blaming the Europeans. I'm actually saying you follow the lead of Joe Biden into censorship and mass migration. Follow the lead of Donald J. Trump, and that's free speech, borders, and sovereignty. That is the future for our shared civilization.
And to stop wasting our money. That's another message that they're sending, is that they are on the taxpayer side. For the first time in history, I'm seeing an administration that's like, okay, we want to secure the borders. We want to unlock growth. We want to do all these things. But we are on the side of you. We want to save you money because you have been getting screwed. And so I appreciate that, I think, more than anything. I love the cultural stuff. Don't get me wrong. I do.
Yeah.
But the fact that they are on our side from a financial perspective, and they're like, you guys have been, they've stolen from you for the past several decades, the past half a century, they've been stealing from you. So how can we fix that? It is so refreshing to hear that and see it happening. It's not just hearing it, we're seeing it happen.
Well, yeah, and he reminds everybody that they are there with a mandate for some of the things that he just mentioned, but he kind of puts a finer point on it right here.
I think that what the president has tried to do is recognize that we have a historical mandate on a few issues. We have to secure the southern border, and thanks to his actions, border crossings are down well over 90%, and we're just getting started. He recognizes that we have to really unlock the engine of American growth. We've got to get back to having a growing economy that creates good jobs and high wages for the American people. And a lot of that goes back to drill, baby, drill. We've done more on energy under President Trump's leadership than I think any administration in history. And that's not an exaggeration. And of course, we're going to do more. And then I think the third thing that he's tried to do, of course, with the help of Elon and all the great folks at DOGE, is ask, what are we doing with all of the American taxpayers' money?
Yes.
And why are we wasting so much of it on garbage that the American people either aren't aware that we're spending it on or don't want to be spending it on in the first place? Like, for example, the stuff that we've figured out, Mercedes, is unbelievable. Why are we spending money on progressive modern art projects centered around toilets in Afghanistan? That's actually something that your tax dollars were funding until very recently. And I think all of us are sitting around and asking, what the hell have we been doing with the American people's money for the last 4 years? Let's turn off the spigot and spend the American people's tax money on the American people's priority. And that's, of course, been a big focus of the administration, too.
Yep. And it's not toilets in Afghanistan. It's not my priority. I don't know about you guys. Or trans operas in Colombia, right?
Clip that we showed the other day of like the toilet art. I mean, what in the hell?
It's insane. It's just insane, the stuff that they're finding. And so it's no more gravy train. No more.
JD Vance also made a funny about CNN and other outlets. And here he is on that.
So when you're looking at this list after list after list, what stands out to you?
Well, speaking of the press, I do think that we've had maybe more executive orders than CNN has viewers each night. So hello to our friends at CNN.
He's right. He's not saying I think he's right. Yeah.
With all apologies to Scott
Jennings. I'm sure he would probably agree. Scott would probably agree with that. If anything,
That is probably the reason they have any ratings.
I was just gonna say that he is the reason. I'm sure because nobody watches CNN. But when Scott's on it, look at that.
They do watch.
Mm-hmm.
This was also, I love this because it kind of reminded me. I mean, I don't mean to sound like all full of ourselves, but one of the things I think makes us have the level of success that we have is that we are who we are. And we don't try to pretend otherwise. And so what he says about advice that Usha offered him reminded me of kind of like a value that you and I definitely hold dear.
Advice she gave me when it came to politics is don't let them filter you.
Right.
And in politics, you've got consultants, and you've got media professionals, you've got pollsters, you've got a lot of people who try to tell you what to say or how to behave or, what to do. And Usha just said, just be yourself, be authentic, go out there and say what's actually on your mind, maybe a little nicer from time to time. But I think that's the best advice that she gave me. And that's why we take our kids everywhere. And that's why I'm not afraid to make a joke on social media, even if it's sometimes a dad joke. I forgive me, all of you who don't like dad jokes, but you just got to be yourself. Yeah. And I think that's President Trump's superpower in American politics. And that's probably the best advice Usha ever gave me, at least on politics.
I totally agree with that. Like we've had PR people for the past, we've been doing this almost 16 years. Is it 16 years? 16 years the end of this month, right? Is that right?
That's right. Oh my gosh.
16 years, you guys, at the end of this month. And we have had several PR people try to tell us who to be, what to say, how to act, how to repackage ourselves. And we're like, you can bugger off, man. We're not going to not be ourselves. Like it would be exhausting.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
I'm not an actor. I wasn't in theater. You know what I mean? I can't pretend to be somebody that I'm not. And believe me, it happens. So when he said that yesterday, I was just like, oh my God, I can totally relate. Absolutely relate. Because especially in politics, they try to mold people into some sort of brand. And the only brand that Mock and I have is we're just ourselves. Right. And that's probably why we're not as successful as other people. But I am okay with that. Totally.
Yeah. I mean, we don't play some of the games that are required to get super
stardom level. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm happy with that. You know why? Because we have a community that other people don't have. That was the thing I'm most proud of when it comes to doing me. Yeah. One, our friendship, and two, our community. And I think that means something.
Mm-hmm. You notice that he said the thing about occasionally making a dad joke. And you know how we have Dad Joke Wednesday, of course.
Yes.
Remember how Norm Eisen and Jennifer Rubin are trying to do
like a variety show? What are they doing?
You guys, look.
The news highlights and the lowlights.
We're gonna go through we'll go through some of the joke highlights. We'll have the dad joke of the day. That's guaranteed. I torment my family every morning.
There you
with
go.
a stream of dad jokes.
Can you even?
I think they listen to our show and they're like, wait, these chicks do it on Wednesdays. Let's do it every day. They are
oh my God.
You guys, they're the biggest nerds. I love nerds. I do. But they're like the worst kind of nerd.
They're the awful, pretentious, condescending nerds.
Right. Not the kind that can parallel park rockets. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's my kind of nerd, but not them.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I saw that and I was just, God,
cringe.
They are so cringe.
They are.
So cringe.
But we're so cool. Look at us. We're so cool. I can't. Here they are, Jennifer.
You guys, my husband has been a little bit ill. He caught himself one of the bugs that's going around. I don't know if it was a flu or whatever, but the second that I heard him start to cough, and you know how men are. When they're sick, they are dying. It's if they have a cough, they're dying.
They're going into labor. Right.
And so immediately I jumped into how do I fix this mode? He would prefer that I am more like sweet caretaker and like
Yeah.
fawning all over him and doing all of the
It's not you.
like rubbing his feet or what, I don't even know.
Right.
But I just want it to be gone. And so my focus is, what do we do to get rid of it? And these are the times that I'm so grateful that we are sponsored by allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks, because I knew in my cupboard, thanks to All Family Pharmacy, I had ready to go a Z-Pack for him. And I had him immediately start it. And of course, it kicked the cold or flu or whatever it was that he had. It kicked a bunch of time off of what it would have. It saved us a trip from going to an urgent care, trying to find a doctor in this new city to prescribe him something that we knew he needed. And so it's just so nice to be able to get over 200 different medications, including ivermectin, by the way, without dealing with a doctor in urgent care. You can just go to allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks, and you can then use code CHICKS10 and you'll get 10% off of your entire order. Sometimes you get stuff overnight. Sometimes if you don't need it that quickly, it's, you usually have it within 2 days or so. So it's just super convenient. I love having that stuff on hand. Oh my gosh.
And I did the Z-Pack thing a couple weeks ago too, because I was so sick. And I was like, we can't be sick, you guys. We're entrepreneurs. We can't be sick. We can't afford to be sick. You know what I mean? So I was like, I gotta like buck up and take this. And I did. That's why I've been coughing so much. But honestly, I think I would have been a lot worse had I not taken my Z-Pack. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what you needed. Like it's something that even if you have something that's viral, you don't want it to result in like a bronchitis or like a sinus infection. So you get yourself what you need with allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks and use code CHICKS10. All right. On to Karoline Leavitt and her I just love her so much. She did another presser yesterday. She also had guests. She brought with her Kevin Hassett, who's one of the economic policy advisors to President Trump. She also had Stephen Miller with her.
He was awesome.
We have a couple of clips from him as well. But she started out reminding the press corps just how much access they've been given to President Trump. It is remarkable. Here she is to summarize.
No, over the past month, the president has taken questions from the press, all of you, nearly every single day. Sometimes on multiple different occasions in the same day on any topic any of you wish to talk about. President Trump set the tone on this approach immediately when he took more than 12 times the questions in his first few hours in office, as Joe Biden did in his entire first week.
Oh my God.
Yesterday, we hosted a local media row here at the White House with television and radio stations from across the country that reached up to 60 million viewers and listeners. In our ongoing pursuit of transparency on this 1 month celebration, I am thrilled to bring 3 of my colleagues and our policy experts here at the White House to further recap this incredible first.
Anyway, so she was introducing the other folks there, but I mean, it's amazing how often he is available.
Yep. And the left will tell you that, they would rather have some guy that's living in a basement that's being run by other people. That's literally a puppet. Yeah, it's astounding to me. Like, at least give Trump credit for a couple of things. If you can't do that as somebody on the left, you definitely have TDS and EDS. You have a mental disorder, because he's doing great things.
He is. Unfortunately, you guys probably know that the United States hockey team lost to Canada last night in overtime.
You did not want to talk about this at all.
I didn't want to talk about it.
I know, right?
But yesterday, when Karoline I think she was being asked if Trump was planning to attend. He couldn't because he had another speaking engagement to go to. But she and Trump both, they will never miss an opportunity to kind of like slam Canada. And she did it in the presser yesterday in this way.
The game tonight, and we look forward to the United States beating our soon-to-be 51st state, Canada.
But Trudeau was so smug. He was so beta male smug, so excited.
Hasn't he? He was supposed to be gone by now. Like, have another election already. Just get out. Everybody knows you resigned. Just go.
Right. I totally agree. Like, why he keeps showing up? Because he just can't stop, won't stop.
Right. Exactly. So Kevin Hassett also spoke. He was asked a question about the tariffs and how much revenue that was they were expected to bring into the country. Here's the question and answer of that.
About replacing income tax with tariff revenue, especially with all this waste, fraud, and abuse that we're seeing cut. Is that a possibility?
Absolutely. And in fact, if you think about the China tariff revenue that we're estimating is coming in from the 10% that we just added, plus the de minimis thing, that it's between $500 billion and $1 trillion over 10 years is our estimate. And that's something that is outside of the reductions that markets are seeing through the negotiations up on the Hill. And so we expect that the tariff revenue is actually going to make it much easier for Republicans to pass a bill. And that was the president's plan all along.
I love that guy. He's such a he's like a happy warrior, that guy.
Yeah.
Such a positive, like, personality. And he came out, he's just like, hi, hey, everybody. Hey. It's like if Mock was doing it. You know what I mean? Mock would be like, hey. He was so happy to be there.
Yeah. He's a cheerful person, and he sounded a little bit like he had a cold. Like maybe he could use some all-family pharmacy.
Well, it's going around. It's going around, you guys. All the crap is going around.
Yeah, there is some stuff going around. But the star of yesterday's show was definitely Stephen Miller. He was asked a question before we get to the clip that's absolutely taking everyone to the moon and back. There was a question about DOGE and whether there would be dividends and how that would work, because you've probably heard, and again, we talked about this yesterday. We don't particularly think that this is a good idea.
Nope.
It should all go to paying down the debt. But what they've said and what we keep hearing is that 20% would go to the debt, 20% would come to the citizens, the taxpayers. Well, then what about the rest of it? And so somebody asked the question, and Stephen Miller cleared that up.
Well, so Stephen, we're hearing about these DOGE dividend checks that would be 20% back to taxpayers, 20% to pay down the debt, 60% is left. Who gets that?
Well, the way that it works is when you achieve savings, you can either return it to taxpayers, you can return it to our debtors, or it can be cycled into next year's budget, and then it just lowers the overall baseline for next year. So in other words, you can just transfer it into the next fiscal window and then lower the overall spending level. And that means that you can achieve a permanent savings that way, and that reduces the deficit.
Which is fantastic.
I mean, just do that. Like, I think I just don't think. Listen, I'm not trying to deny anybody cash. Okay,
right?
But
I'm
like,
right there with you.
I just don't like this
idea.
idea.
Because my daughter-in-law wrote me yesterday, and she's like, "Are we getting $5,000 from the government?" And I'm like, "I hope not, because I really want them to be able to." And then I explained her everything we talked about yesterday. I was like, I mean, it sounds attractive to people, but it's very democratic to me.
Yeah.
It's like a stimulus check. I didn't like the stimulus checks either. I think that they were, I don't think that we should have done that. And so I feel like it's sort of stimulus-y, don't you think? And I don't.
Well, it seems to like, it negates the entire purpose of this entire exercise was to reduce the debt. So let's do that. I mean,
do it.
This is like the analogy. I think I heard somebody making it yesterday. It's like if you owe $30,000 on your credit card and you can only afford your minimum payment due every month, and you're not making any headway, right? And then someone is like, we're going to give you $5,000. The thing to do is pay down your debt, not take that money and spend it over here. Yep. You have an obligation to reduce your debt first. And so that's the same as the United States. I don't know.
I'm right there with you. I don't think this is a good idea. I think we need to absolutely take care of the debt first. And then I think in the long run, if we play the long game on this, it's going to help us in the future. And then, you know what would really be nice is if they did that, pay down the debt, and then like got rid of the IRS and gave us a flat tax. That would be great.
Exactly. Yes.
Do that.
Let's get
and
our
I'll
taxes
be happy.
lowered. Right.
Exactly. Everybody wants their taxes to be lower, because then it would be a continuous, it would have longevity. I just think this is stimulus-y to me. I don't like it.
And now we're saying that, and we don't want you to confuse us with the attitude that Jasmine Crockett has about this, because it is not the same. Here is her ridiculous. Here's what she said.
We are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for.
Oh, really? Okay. But
that's tone deaf.
But the 1,500 in stimulus checks was helpful, but 5,000 isn't. Like that. She's a hypocrite, first of all. And she's a hypocrite in many ways, because I'm sure she gave money to Ukraine. I'm sure she was delighted to give money to crap we didn't want to give money to.
Right.
But yet giving $5,000 to the American people, not that I agree with it, but giving $5,000 back to the American people, because that's our money, lady. like somehow she's like, it's not going to help people. Actually, it would help a lot of people, but I don't
Well,
think
that's the
we should be
point.
doing that now.
Minimizing the impact that would have on people.
Totally.
And granted, it would have.
It would.
That's a lot of money.
It's a ton of money. Yeah.
It's just when you look at overall the whole purpose behind trying to cut and eliminate all of this waste, fraud, and abuse, it's to bring down our debt. It's to get us right. It's to right the ship again. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Anyway, she's awful. And now back to Stephen Miller, who is not. And he gave the press a what for yesterday and accused them to their faces of hiding the fact that Joe Biden was basically asleep at the wheel. And he also gave them a little bit of a civics lesson. Here he is.
True that many of the people in this room for 4 years failed to cover the fact that Joe Biden was mentally incompetent and was not running the country.
Yep.
It is also true that many people in this room who have used this talking point that Elon is not elected fail to understand how government works. So I'm glad for the opportunity for a brief civics lesson. A president is elected by the whole American people. He's the only official in the entire government that is elected by the entire nation, right? Judges are appointed, members of Congress are elected at the district or state level, which is one man. And the Constitution, Article 2, has a clause known as the vesting clause, and it says the executive power shall be vested in a president, singular. The whole will of democracy is imbued into the elected president. That president then appoints staff to then impose that democratic will onto the government. The threat to democracy, indeed the existential threat to democracy, is the unelected bureaucracy of lifetime tenured civil servants who believe they answer to no one, who believe they can do whatever they want without consequence, who believe they can set their own agenda no matter what Americans vote for.
God, that guy's awesome.
Isn't he?
He really, really is. He's so great.
Really, really is. Yeah. He's absolutely awesome. All right, moving on, because once again, as always, just when I think like, I've got my head around the news of the day, 4 o'clock comes and Trump is busying himself making more news. This is what happens every day now.
Yeah.
And it happened yesterday when he held a reception for a whole bunch of people to celebrate Black History Month. And he made some remarks. He introduced Tiger Woods. And it was really cool to see the room being so receptive to him. And he made a really interesting point in part of his remarks where he referenced the 1619 Project and how for so long, what's her name? Nicole Hannah Jones is the author of that ridiculous thing. And there's been that push to make that be this thing in American culture and American history. And he had a much better idea. And I just love this.
Administration tried to reduce all of American history to a single year, 1619. But under our administration, we honor the indispensable role Black Americans have always played in the immortal cause of another date, 1776. We like 1776.
That's right. That's right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we like that.
It's kind of like having the whole Black national anthem. The national anthem includes y'all. Okay,
Right.
we don't need a separate one.
And
It's so dumb.
I'm pretty sure that Martin Luther King would not have wanted that. I mean, he wanted everybody to be judged on merit and not and content of character rather than the color of their skin. And they want so badly just to be to segregate themselves, basically.
Right.
Which is antithetical to everything that we've done over the past however many years in this country. So I don't get it. I just don't understand that need. It's kind of like I feel that way about the LGBTQ community too. It's like they want to put themselves in a compartmentalized little box. We're all freaking Americans. Can we just do that? Thanks.
Yeah, and all the flags. Oh my God.
It's just ridiculous.
Don't even get me started.
Uh-huh.
Also, there was another moment because, Trump cannot go to an event or have a press, be addressing the press in any way without trolling. It's just not in his character to be able to resist that temptation. And he did it again at the celebration for Black History Month. And it was so funny. Actually, the crowd helped him because he was talking about thanking the Black folks that were there and talking about how much more of the Black vote he'd received than so many Republicans prior. So he was thanking them. And all of a sudden they start busting out with a chant of 4 more years, which of course he's term limited, but
Right.
he joked about it and it was just so cute. He actually laughs. Like there's a guffaw in the midst of this little clip, which I just loved.
Proud to say that we received, listen to this, more votes from Black Americans than any Republican president ever. Not even close. Almost 40% of the vote. Now, I won't be happy the next time. Should I run again? You tell me.
Liberals' heads.
There's your controversy right there. There's your controversy.
I just love it.
Thank you. You'll be seeing that on you're gonna see that tonight, Tim, on television. I want to thank just a few of the people who are with us today. And
God, he's just such a king troller, isn't he? The greatest.
I love that. So great.
And CNN and MSNBC and CBS, they're all like, their heads are exploding everywhere.
They're still all losing their shit about the crown on the time cover, the fake time cover.
Right.
I mean, they cannot stop obsessing about that.
It's great, isn't it?
Okay, back to CPAC, because Elon Musk was there and Javier Milei was there, and Milei presented Elon Musk with a golden chainsaw to like represent the massive cutting that he's doing through DOGE. And so when they met backstage, it was so cute. Like they're clearly like they just really, really like each other, and it was cute the moment that they had backstage. Here it is.
Hi, my friend!
Oh my God, I love him.
How you doing? Good, how's it going? Hey. I have a bracelet for you.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh. He's like laughing. That is fantastic.
Look at me. Look at me. I was bad to the bone.
That guy. He's so joyful. I love him.
Oh my God. Yeah, he is.
And he's done such great things for his country, you know?
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
Yep.
And then there was the moment. There was the moment where Elon was introduced and came out on stage, and Javier also came out with him a little bit later. And then they showed the chainsaw to the entire crowd. And that, I mean, when Elon comes out on any stage, he is so excited. You guys.
He is. He
And
is.
so here is that moment.
Oh my God, I love it. I just love it. Oh my God. How do you not want to be a part of this? I don't get it.
I know, right?
Right.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
Oh my gosh.
And then he posted this photo and said, "This is a real picture. The Doge father."
It's just so great. Remember when Democrats said that they cornered the market on joy? Like they were the joyful party?
Oh my God.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Yeah.
There was kind of a negative Elon moment that happened during CPAC, but his former flame and mother of his three of his kids, Grimes, she was trying to reach him. Apparently, he's not returning Ashley St. Clair's call.
He's had 3 kids with Grimes? I didn't know that.
He's got 3 kids with Grimes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And she took to Twitter to try to reach him. And this is what she said. Please respond about our child's medical crisis. I'm so sorry to do this publicly, but it is no longer acceptable to ignore the situation. This requires immediate attention. If you don't want to talk to me, can you please designate or hire someone who can so that we can move forward on solving this? This is urgent, Elon. I'm not giving any details, but, and then she said this to other people who were like, why are you doing this? She said, I'm not giving any details, but he won't respond to text, calls, or emails and has skipped every meeting. And our child will suffer lifelong impairment if he doesn't respond ASAP. So I need him to effing respond. And if I have to apply public pressure, then I guess that's where we're at. And then she immediately deleted those and then said something about how she was deleting it because this is bringing her child into things. And it's like, okay, well, you already did that.
You did that.
You know what I
He's
mean?
in it. I mean, we know that he's a there's a medical crisis here. So
right. And yes,
you're
it is
bringing that
authentic. Somebody's asking if it's authentic. She's talked about it even since on her own Twitter saying, I deleted this because I didn't want to bring kids into this whole public, thing.
I mean, I have thoughts about all this and I tread lightly because I think some of these chicks thought that he was going to be like some family dude that's going to come in and like have like, it's just not that way with him. So you kind of know what you're getting into. Is that right? Do you think? I mean,
listen, he is not somebody that you should want a relationship with if you are a woman. It's not going to happen.
Right. You're not going to settle down with Elon Musk. It's just not going to happen. So there's a lot of women, he's a procreator.
That's right. He's not a dad. He's a procreator, not a dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks. I mean, it would be really cool if he was a better dad, but he's not. And that is well documented at this point.
Exactly.
So I don't know why people keep having kids with him.
Yeah, it's just these young women. I think it's different because if he wasn't as loaded as he is, I don't know if they would have gotten involved with him. But that's a whole other conversation. But anyway,
yeah. All right, moving on to some crazies because we've got a lot, and we're going to start with James Carville making actually a valid point. We do have James Carville being crazy in just a little bit, but first, I was surprised to hear him make a point that I actually agreed with. I guess it goes to that whole broken clock is right twice a day thing. But here he is talking about racism, and he is right.
This is a point of observation. I think these people, the most racist thing that I hear is when people say communities of color or people of color, because that assumes that everybody that is not white is the same, which is like, it's I think it's racist to say, well, Filipinos are the same as Hondurans, are the same as Nigerians, are the same as Indonesians is absurd.
I can't believe I can't believe I'm agreeing with him, but I am.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's right. But your party's been doing that. Your party's the one that did that.
They
Mr.
are.
Carville. Yeah. So this is what it's your bed. You got to sleep in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he's also, as we know, completely batshit. And he's so mad at Stephen A. Smith. Like, there's no side to be on here because both of these men are detestable to me.
Right.
But Stephen A. Smith has recently come out and suggested that he might run for president. And he's like been very political lately. And James Carville has a huge problem with that. He thinks that Stephen A. Smith has no business talking politics, and hide your kids, hide your wives, because he does not mince words about that.
When it comes to sports, I find him to be really insightful. When it comes to politics, he don't know his ass from a hole in the ground. He's on there running his goddamn mouth about how he may have to run as a Democrat because there's nothing left of the Democratic Party. There's no talent. Stephen A., are you shitting me? I mean, you say you're friends with Wes Moore and you say you're friends with Josh Shapiro. I'm friends with both of them. I think they're really extraordinary, talented people. But I got news for you, dude. There's 6 or 7 other people in the Democratic Party that are just that talented. So before you start running your fucking mouth off about politics, a topic of which you really don't know anything about, you ought to sit back and think about it and call some people and run it by them.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Keep up your shit on sports. I enjoy it. I like it, but don't make a fool of yourself anymore and talking about politics.
Oh, yikes. Okay. I actually hope that he runs. I think that would be so fun to watch if he ran. That would be great, wouldn't it? It would be entertaining as hell. And also, just a side note, I'm not sure, you guys, but did James Carville go to LSU? Because he never wears LSU stuff. And so I'm just wondering if he actually do you
If
have
only we
wardrobe?
knew. It's such a mystery.
Oh my God, he's like constantly in purple and gold. I cannot with that guy.
Well, and it's interesting that he's calling out Stephen A. Smith for not being insightful about politics and saying basically he shouldn't be talking about things he doesn't know about, because here's James Carville just a few days before the election.
Take Harris over 270 electoral votes. Let these fools in these crypto markets do something. Let them drive the betting line into a favorable place and then take advantage of it. That's what I would do. I think she's going to win. She's got more money, got more energy, has a more united party, has better surrogates, and he's stone ass nuts. If you look at these early vote numbers, or you look at anything, the women of this country are just tired of being treated like they're being treated by Trump and Alito on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything, but
So shut up, Stephen Smith.
Right. Because apparently he can predict everything and he's a political genius. He's not. He's just a guy in an LSU, outfit every single day. It's like Garanimals at this point. Remember the Garanimals? Yeah. Wow.
I bet he rused that day that he said all that stuff about Kamala.
Totally. But I actually I hope that Stephen runs. I really, really do. I think that'd be great. More of that.
I don't know,
please.
man. I don't know. People
Did you
are
see,
dumb enough to vote for him.
Isn't he the guy that spoke out against Serena doing the Super Bowl dance? And he said that if that were my wife, I would. Is that him?
I don't
That's
know.
him,
I haven't heard about that.
I think I think he actually said if that were my wife, I would have divorced her. And then it caused a whole rift between him and her husband. And yeah.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just, run. I hope he does.
Sunny Hostin on The View is talking about the congestion tax and the whole thing with, she's very upset about the time cover with the king and the crown and the long live the king. She's like absolutely taking that to heart, genuinely believes that Trump has never wanted to be president and only has ever wanted to be a king. And she actually likes not having all the plebes on the road with her. Here she is to explain.
Leave Trump.
Yeah.
And what he said is that Trump has never really wanted to be president. He actually has always wanted to be king. And he also says that his plan this time is to first play king on television. And if we believe he is already king, we will be likelier to let him govern as a king. So don't believe him. Because right now what we're seeing is he's waving his scepter, his king scepter. Yeah. Congestion pricing is gone.
Right.
He's waving his scepter.
Although I'm pro-congestion pricing being gone, and Whoopi would agree with me.
Well, I don't know. I feel like my drive-in has been a little bit easier and smoother. But
oh my God,
he's waving the scepter around, and people seem to think that things are happening by executive order. And I think that is his plan. He wants to run for a third term.
Well, frankly, I think.
These people are out of their freaking minds. They really are. I know. It's like I saw that if at $9 a day, working 5 days a week, that's $2,340 a year that you pay in that tax. That's a lot of freaking money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money to
and they're already paying taxes for New York to have roads. You know what I mean?
Meanwhile,
that they should have the right to drive on.
Right. Meanwhile, exactly, Mock. And meanwhile, Sunny is making $1.6 million a year. At least that's the last contract that I saw of her. So it's hard for her to understand that stuff. She just lives in a different reality. All of these people do.
And you can't tell me that she drives herself into the office. There is no way.
Oh yeah. She has a driver. She does.
Yeah. Speaking of the congestion tax, I know we played some Kathy Hochul yesterday and she's super cringe just as a person. Like she doesn't even have to do anything to be cringe. She just has to exist and she is cringe. But when she tries the whole put him up like tough girl thing, it is so painfully cringe. And she's still talking about Trump. And basically, it's Trump's fault that there's traffic in New York. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it is all his fault. She wants you to know that. And so here she is yesterday, just cringing it up.
The commuters of our city and our region are now the roadkill on Donald Trump's revenge tour against New York.
Oh my God, she's just so bad at this.
If in some world that they are successful, the next time you're stuck in traffic, the next time your train is delayed, the next time you're in a flooded station because infrastructure repairs were not made, I want you to think of this. Think about this. Next time you're stuck in traffic.
God, she's crazy.
Let me check my
Okay?
notes.
We know where the plane goes?
Exactly.
Okay?
I got to look at my script. How many times do you think she practiced that in the mirror? So many times. You know she did. And then she still was like, I got to look at my notes. I got to look because I have a script. I have a script that I got to follow. Shut up. Got it.
So great. There are very, very angry liberals who believe that their representatives are not doing enough to counteract all the things that Trump is doing. It's like they don't understand how elections have consequences. They're not getting it. And so this woman, this person in particular, is real mad. And in the comments, you'll see that people are like, we need Luigi, essentially. And you know what that means. They're calling for violence against the president.
Totally.
Or Elon, or both. And so she is making a plea to her elected representatives to do something.
So when are people who actually have the power to do something actually fucking do something?
Oh.
When? There's only so much that me, myself, as an individual citizen can do, you know, like write, call to representatives, speak up, do whatever. I know that there's stuff that I can do, but it's minuscule. I can't fucking go to the DC and like arrest Musk or anything. I don't have the ability to do that. But when the fuck are people going who are in power? When the fuck who are people who are actually in fucking power do something about this? When are they gonna fucking do something to stop this fucking madness from happening?
Jeez.
When are you, the Democratic Party, when the fuck are you gonna actually stand up and fucking do something? When the fuck are those who took an oath to protect this country actually stand up and fucking do something? Because they are not playing by the rules, so therefore it is time for us to stop playing by the rules, because there's no fucking rule book anymore. There is no fucking rule book. You guys have to fucking do something before it's too late. And literally, we are right there. We are getting to that point of no return, and I swear to God, once we cross that line, that's it. Fucking do something!
Okay. All right. Sir, you need to calm down. Because, damn, there's a lot of F-bombs happening there with that dude. What was that dude?
He doesn't understand how things work.
He doesn't understand.
The Democrats aren't in power. That's why they're not doing things. They can't. That's the election consequence we were just mentioning.
The last 4 years, and they effed everything up, and we're cleaning up all the messes. Okay, sir? So calm down. Maybe.
Yowza.
Yeah.
And there's also liberal women who are so upset about what's happening that they are announcing to the world that they can't have kids because of it. And I think this is a net positive for our side. Here it is.
Last night, the conversation my fiance and I had before we went to bed was, if this happens, we won't be having kids. At least not in the next 4 years.
Okay.
We definitely can't have them in the state we live in now.
Don't do it. Just don't.
I'm already a high risk, and if we wait 4 years, I'll be pushing 36, which makes me high risk and a geriatric pregnancy, which means it's probably never going to happen for me. Not here in the U.S., pregnancy? Definitely not here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, yes.
We could move back to our home state of Maine.
You should.
They're a protected state, or to Vermont, somewhere in New England. But even then, who's to say what's going to happen? And then waking up to text between myself and my female friends and my LGBTQ plus friends, and not knowing what the world's going to look like for them either. And then coming to school this morning and realizing someone might want to put a gun in my hand to protect these kids.
Another teacher.
That's all we did
She's
at our
a
last
teacher.
teacher in service day.
God help us.
Was prepare for gun lockdowns. I teach 2 and 3-year-olds.
Oh my God.
And that's the world they're growing up into.
Oh, that just ruined my day.
So I hope you voted. And I hope you know what you did when you voted.
We
Is
did.
she really crying? Is she really?
Yeah.
Are there tears there? Were there tears?
mean,
A couple of tears? A little bit of acting there.
maybe a little bit.
Dang. Yeah, it's fine if you don't have kids. In fact, it's probably best that you're not a mother to anybody. So
Yeah.
it's a good plan. So
I think this
congratulations.
is fine. I have no problem with this whatsoever.
I have no problem with it either. Totally in agreement. Do not have kids and also move to Maine. So maybe Mock won't run into you in South Carolina.
Yeah, I don't like that
You
she's
don't wanna
this
do
close
that.
to me.
Right. Mm-mm.
Piers Morgan had Riley Gaines on the other night, along with some trans
Person?
thing. Yeah, that goes by Blossom.
No.
To talk about trans people in girls and women's sports. And this person was insane. There's 2 very short clips. The first, they're talking about I can't even use that word. Blossom, who's clearly a dude. Blossom is actually suggesting that we should just only have gender neutral sports, which if Blossom would just think that through for a hot second, Blossom would realize that would mean there would be no women's sports, because if you have men and women competing together, men will always win. That's why there's women's sports.
Right.
But that's a concept that goes over Blossom's head.
It's,
You will
especially
see-
goes over the it's a concept that goes over a lot of people's heads that have never competed in sports. There
Yeah.
are a lot of people that weigh in on this that have never had they've never done anything sporty. And
Right.
and then they're like, let me tell you how everything should. No, they're there.
You can just see Riley's head wanting, like, it's about to explode. And even
Explode.
Piers Morgan is like, you are insane. The second clip, because I'm just going to let these run together, is them trying to make Blossom understand the ridiculousness of the argument. And they say, well, what do you think about Paralympians competing with able-bodied Olympians? And you can imagine how the conversation goes. Here are both clips.
Blossom, just to be clear, would you want the American Olympics, the LA Olympics, would you want them to be gender neutral where the sexes compete with each other?
Absolutely. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think
Okay,
as long as
do
it's
you also
inclusive
believe-
of
It's
trans
completely
women and
insane.
trans men and non-binary
Do you
people,
also believe
then yes,
that we should
why not?
combine
It's
the
completely
Why not?
insane.
This country was built on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And all those
Exactly.
countries trying
This
to
is
get rid
why
of
that's so nuts.
DEI. That does include cis women like
And you know what you would do?
Hello?
You would exclude all women from winning medals. Well done.
absurd from
Right.
top to bottom, saying there should be a gender neutral Olympics?
I know.
Are you serious?
Madness.
Do you also believe, Blossom, that we should combine the Paralympics and the Olympics? I would love to hear an answer to that.
Okay, I'll ask her. Bring back Blossom.
She's like-
Blossom, should we combine the Paralympics with the regular Olympics? Have them all compete with each other?
I mean, why not? And to go back to
Right,
Riley's
yeah,
point to
why
that
not?
last
Yeah,
point.
okay. You are completely insane.
Go back to
Riley.
that last point.
Yeah. This is the thing. And
Can
again,
you even-
I would put money on the fact, money I don't have on the fact that individual has never played a sport.
Oh my God, there's no
Ever.
way.
Never played a sport, never done anything athletic, never had to work for anything like that, never gotten up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 days a week and worked at their sport, which is basically their craft, to do anything, to succeed in anything like that athletic. I guarantee you that individual's never done anything.
No way. There's no way.
Sports related. Yeah.
I don't know where Piers finds these people, but damn.
He's got good producers that go out there and find the crazy. Uh-huh.
And then one more clip before we get to some talks. And that is, I have discovered a new girl crush. Her name is Naomi. Oh man. I can't remember her. Cunningham. Naomi Cunningham.
Cunningham. Okay.
Sorry. I think it'll even say on her little nameplate
Okay.
anyway that you're about to see. She is a British discrimination lawyer, and her focus, at least over the last few years, has been on sex-based rights. And so
Okay.
she's been pretty outspoken about the trans issue and the invasion of women's spaces issue. And what I love about her is her absolutely unflappable, calm, normal, just perfect way of delivering a very tough message. So
Yeah.
she's talking with a absolutely crazy woman who is afraid of offending. You can tell that this is a woman who's afraid of offending any trans people. And so she's making the suggestion that some trans people don't experience gender dysphoria. And that's when Naomi sets her straight.
That question of gender dysphoria and the medicalization, given that the World Health Organization has reclassified it, and given that we know there is increasing evidence that not all trans people experience gender dysphoria, how then can we retain a restriction that excludes trans people from getting a GRC?
Well, I want to put that question back to you, if I may. You say not all trans people experience gender dysphoria, but if that's the case, I'm not sure I understand what you mean by a trans person.
Right. So I think the evidence is increasingly clear. There is substantial published research from engagement directly with trans people that is not always the case. And in the same way as I wouldn't want to prescribe what being a woman has to be, you have to look a certain way, you have to dress a certain way, you have to act a certain way.
For crying
That's
out loud.
sexism. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to trans people either.
But if you define a trans person simply as anybody who defines themselves as a trans person, you have a hopelessly circular definition, and you can't make any useful generalizations about the characteristics of that group.
I love her.
Yeah, she's very calm, you know.
Very calm.
Yeah.
So calm. And I just love that about her.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. We're going to start out with some crazy talks before we get to the cute ones. And that is, we've played a lot of the videos of the crazies crying, right? Like the left is constantly crying about how upset they are with everything that's going on with the Trump administration. And now we have another person crying, but they're like totally making fun of the left. And it is my favorite parody of the week.
So like President Trump is like he's having Elon go through all of this stuff to like see where America's taxpayer dollars are going to, and like they're finding so much corruption, and I just wish that they would stop because it's really like none of their business, and I enjoy paying my taxes to other countries. And
right.
I love that it goes into like other people's pockets instead of mine, and I just really love that. And I hate that he's deporting all of these people because I also enjoy all of my tax dollars going to pay for all of their living, even though they came here illegally. And everything is like not going according to plan. Like he's like kept his word on everything he said. Like everything he said, he kept his word on. Like
it is sarcasm. Yes.
To do that.
Yes, it is. It's satire. Yes.
This is just the stupidest thing ever.
How does she make herself cry? What?
I hate him too.
How does she do that with the tears? Is she like?
I don't know, man.
Is there an onion in front of her? What is she doing? That was awesome.
I don't know. Why do people act like? How is it that I intro a clip by saying it's my favorite parody, making fun of crying liberals, and people are like, "Is this satire?"
Because they don't listen.
What else do you need me to say?
You're not. It's okay. They don't listen. They don't even know that we're hosting this show. They don't even know. Hi, welcome. Hello.
What in the world?
I know, right?
Okay, now for the cutest thing, seriously the cutest thing, that you are going to see this entire week, and it is kids singing the cutest song that I have ever heard about George Washington ever. I love this song, and I want to learn every word of it. Behold.
Oh my God, I love that. Yeah. So great. The cutest.
Oh my God.
just want to eat all their faces. Oh, God.
Last verse coming up.
They're so cute too. Big finale. Oh my God, I love them. I love them. Patriotism is back.
The cutest?
It's back, baby. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
So much.
I love
Oh my God.
that. So great.
So freaking cute. All right, now to some normal talks. First of all, I know we've shown a montage before of dogs that are terrified of vets. Because these are different ones. And I don't know why they make me laugh so hard.
People are like, it's mean.
It's mean. I know,
The
but
person's
they're all
taking-
fine.
They're all going to the vet for some sort of treatment. It's really not mean. They're babies. They're big
fine.
babies.
They're just big babies, but they're so funny. Here they are.
Oh, he's so shaky. Here. Oh, that's not good. God bless him. Oh my God. That dog will mess you up. Oh my gosh. The little dogs, man. They're crazy. Oh my gosh, she's chattery. They're crazy.
They are so funny. Oh my gosh. So funny.
Just think, they used to like hunt for their own food like hundreds of years ago. And look at them now in cones, crying, screaming. This is what we've done to dogs, you guys. Look at what we've done. It's crazy.
I know. And some dogs are so spoiled that they demand to follow the routines of their owners. For example, this fellow shaving, he's using one of those electric razors. The dog also wants to be electrically shaved. And so this fellow has to pretend just to keep his dog happy.
Meow, 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 meow.
Oh my God. That is the cutest thing. He's like, more daddy, please.
Yeah,
More, I need more. I love him. Look at his sweet face.
I know.
Oh, he's got such a
Come
Theo
on.
face. Theo is exactly, he has that same face where he just always looks like he needs something, you know? Just what a precious nugget he is.
So sweet.
I know.
All right, last one. Someone sent me this montage of raccoons, and you guys, I hadn't seen some of these. The one that like opens the door of the garbage dumpster. Everybody's seen that before. But a lot of these I had not seen, and they are fantastic. Here they are.
The Mission Impossible theme should be playing.
Yes, this is the one everybody's seen.
I love him. Hey, what you doing? How you doing? I can't. What in the world?
Good evening. What are you doing? Big yawn.
Their hands, man. I just love their hands.
I know, their little hands are cute. Eating the Fruit Loops. Is that what that is? Looks like Fruit Loops.
Uh-oh.
God bless them. Oh, okay. We're just hanging. Who puts the raccoon in the bathtub though? Like somebody.
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I like the Twizzlers. I'm gonna need some Twizzlers.
Oh my gosh, she's so
It's a baby. It's us if we were raccoons. It's us, Muck and Daisy. Oh my God.
Oh my God. I love that so much. All right. We do have some thank yous. And one was from yesterday from Dana Spain.
Dana Spain.
She said, happy Friday, beautiful chicks. And an anniversary shout out to Hot Hubby. Our anniversary is 222, which he chose because it was his badge number.
Oh my
Said it kept him
gosh.
safe for 25 years and he'll do the same for me. My ride or die. Love y'all. Isn't
That
that
is
the
the
cutest?
sweetest. They are such a darling couple. They really
Oh my
are.
God, so precious.
Yes.
And then also Carol Jackson said on 224, my son Colton would have been 25. We lost him at 11. Every February, I ask people to go to a bakery and pay for a pre-ordered birthday cake for a child. When a family picks it up, they'll see it's paid for. You never know the impact or blessing.
Oh my
Hashtag
gosh.
Colton 25. Love you ladies. What a sweet
I
thing.
love that idea. I love everything
Oh
about
my
that.
God.
God bless you.
So
That's
sweet.
so, isn't it?
I love
want to
that.
do that. I love it. Okay, you ready?
Osuki, no. Osuki says, I want them eradicated. She's talking about Hamas. I want them
Right.
gone to the point that not even one blood cell remains to prove they existed. If that means killing all their children, so be it. Not sorry. Kohler Lupton says they get $5,000 tax refund bonus back to the taxpayers. Will that include the so-called taxpayers that don't actually pay anything and get money back that they did pay along with the earned income credit bonus? This is the reason I'm opposed to going back to the taxpayers versus paying down the debt.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole
Pay down
question
the
about
debt
that.
and then just like make our taxes lower at some point. That's
Right.
what we want. Or it's just, yeah.
Roth Lady Wright says there's no way in hell my 100-pound pit bull ever hunted for anything. She won't even go outside when it's cold or raining.
Yeah, that's Coda, 180-pound Dane. I'm like, how did you survive?
Right?
And how did your
Okay, now
people
you.
survive? Yeah. James Edgar, tomorrow is the birthday for me and fellow CRTR fan at Beach Sue G. Love you, chicks.
Aw,
Okay, well, happy birthday. Kristen H. Mock, save the soup for when you rue the day. Shaking rakes. Yep. Brian Brumley, regarding Turtle Man, just remember that Mock's favorite person, Ashley, still owns a house in Kentucky. Sleep well, my fellow Kentuckians.
Oh my God, she could totally run. She wanted to before, remember? And then she didn't have enough mental health to do it or something. We're talking about Ashley Judd, by the way.
Yes. She wasn't in line with the God of her understanding.
Right.
Right. Paula Johnson, I saw Lynda Lee's interview with Sean Ryan. I was completely swept up. If you have not seen it, you need to. I am not sure what to believe. Okay. Yeah, Lynda Lee. Jose Rodriguez, morning from Texas and TGIF on my second. Okay, my second wind is gone. Someone take the baton from me. So much winning. And Carville with this get off my lawn moment is so satisfying. Just take my money. Thank you, Jose. GCQC. Hi. Daisy, Carville wears all the LSU garb because he is from Louisiana. He went to LSU and taught at LSU. He's an embarrassment to me and as an alumni. Yeah, I love LSU. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I think it's weird when people wear all the things all the time. Like Mock's husband is the biggest Georgia fan in the world, but it's not like he would go on national television wearing like a Georgia sweatshirt, you know,
And
what I mean?
only a Georgia sweatshirt.
Right. A little weird. Yeah. Stevie J, just wanted to say thank you for informing and entertaining us every morning. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Stevie.
That is very generous, Stevie J. Thank you very much.
So sweet of you. Avatar Ashkenazi, just FYI, the body Israel got back yesterday isn't Shiri, the baby's mom. The body belongs to a random deceased woman, and Hamas cannot tell the real hostage location. Why isn't Gaza burning yet?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Our
I just
sentiments,
cannot.
exactly.
If there are still people supporting that side, like all the college student protesters,
And the
we
squad.
should all be sent to Gaza.
And the squad should too.
Yeah,
Those- just gross. So gross.
So mad.
Tammy Pfeiffer. I'm sorry, Tammy Pfeiffer. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble reading this morning. I need new glasses, you guys. Good morning, chicks. Today's my 46th birthday. Strange thought. What happens to all these trans people who get dementia? Would they understand why they are missing part or gained parts?
That is so
when
interesting.
they get old and they it's actually a really interesting question. Yes.
Yeah.
Avatar Ashkenazi also, there evidence that the babies were not killed by any mechanical means, but by hand. There is evidence. The father asked for evidence to be shown to the world. I guess we will be able to see it soon. God save us. Absolutely. It's just, they are monsters.
Total monsters. We just got another Venmo from Amelia Johnson, who said, thank you for standing with sanity and common sense, asking for everyone to light a candle tonight to banish the darkness in memory of the Bebas babies and all the hostages whose lives were snuffed out by hate.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you for that.
Totally.
Thank you, guys.
It's going to be a lovely Friday. Everybody bring it in. You don't have any gifts or anything, do you? You have any? We're good?
I do not.
Okay. You guys have the best weekend ever, and we will talk to you on Monday. Thank you.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.